What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. You've seen the thumbnail. Let's get right into it. So last night, if you guys did not watch last night's event, man, you guys missed out on a tremendous and spectacular performances by these women. They put a tremendous amount of effort in their performances, man, and they all, in my opinion, did a good job, and they should all hold their heads up. But I want to talk a little bit about the main event. What was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was that main event? You know, I was completely disappointed in that fight, honestly. This fight was definitely lackluster compared to the first two fights. You know, I get it. You know, both women, you know, they wanted to preserve themselves for other fights, other big fights. And I get that, man. But, you know, when you got Amanda Serrano stating that, you know, she thought that the first two fights were a fluke, she thought that she won these fights and she wanted to prove to her fans, you know, that she was the true victor, none of that was evident. You know what I'm saying? None of that was materialized in last night's fight. Again, in my opinion, it was a disappointment and lackluster compared to the first two fights. With that being said, the reason why I am saying that is because both fighters threw less punches. The punches that were thrown were pretty much thrown in the air, you know, and I'm not sure if they were just trying to stay busy, you know, trying to please the fans, because some of the fans were, you know, booing, and I was a little bored as well. I'm not sure if they were trying to make it seem to the judges as if they were, you know, trying to stay busy, that they weren't doing something, or that they were doing something. But again, it was just boring. You know, it was just starting to get boring as the fight went on like this. With that being said, you know, I thought the last two rounds, I think ultimately won Katie Taylor the victory. I thought she landed the more cleaner shots. And when it came to Amanda Serrano, there was no sense of urgency at all from her or her corner. There was no adjustments made. And, you know, she never derailed from her game plan, which I'm going to talk about in a second. You know, initially when the fight first commenced, I was like, okay, this is going to be a slow fight, you know, a very more technical fight, you know, and it was at a very slow pace. In my opinion, that favored Katie Taylor's style, you know. And when Amanda, you know, gave her, you know, post-fight interview, she goes, the game plan was to stay on the outside and try to throw long punches. And I'm just like, why would you do that? You know, as a shorter fighter, why would you try to throw long punches? As a shorter fighter, you have to close that gap, right? You have to fill that void. Because all Katie has to do, which is what she did, was just box you. Step back and counter you. That's it. Make you miss, make you pay. And that's exactly what she was doing. I'm not understanding what that game plan was. And even if that was a game plan, there was no adjustments made from Amanda Serrano or her corner. None at all. Completely disappointing. Okay? Amanda was, again, not aggressive at all. And most of her punches, honestly, man, just didn't land. And, you know, when it came to Katie Taylor, she did a good job. She was boxing beautifully. You know, again, it was a very slow pace, so she was able to, you know, she didn't get fatigued at all in the first or second half of the fight. So she was pretty much cruising and chilling and just boxing. That was it. You know, and for any of Amanda Serrano's fans who were disappointed, I mean, you can only be disappointed in Amanda. You know, again, I was rooting for Amanda. I really thought that she was going to pull through. But nonetheless, you know, you got to hold your head up and you got to give it to both of these fighters, because both of them did a real good job, man. Honestly, whether, you know, they wanted to please us or not, you know, again, these are, you know, human beings as well. You know, they are the ones that are in there taking those shots. They're the ones taking that punishment, right? They have to go to the hospital and they have to deal with these things, and we don't, right? Those things we don't get to see. So other than that, that's really all I got for you guys. Until next time.